Man, crazy how loud those loggers' chainsaws are. They're up over the hill and way down in the gully and across the valley. Sounds like they're like right there. But anyway, I'm in my northern elk hunting spot. And did a big loop of my quad the other day. Checked a whole bunch of my trail cameras. Found a bunch of everything. Lots of bull elk, lots of cow elk, lots of white-tailed deer, some bull moose, some wolves, some huge frickin' grizzlies. If I can, I'll probably share some of those. The grizzlies on here, they're pretty impressive bears. It's amazing how many there are here, how elusive they actually really are during the daylight. They're walking the same trails, same forest. But anyway, my morning's done here right now, so a little chilly. It's gonna get warm throughout the day, too warm for the elk to do much, but just a matter of time. I got my little plan set up. I'll be tightening the noose on these bulls here pretty quick. But I think I might have decent enough Wi-Fi at my friend's place to share a video. I was checking actually had enough internet to check the emails, so. And I got an interesting title here from somebody we're familiar with, and they catch my attention when I see the right in. Listen to this. This is titled "The Arizona Four Live and Well." That's a group of people who have ongoing experiences. Let me know if there's a grizzly behind me. Okay, listen to this. Steve, yes, the Arizona Four are still going out when we can, learning what we can, and of course, we are still listening to your channel and all the experiences that your viewers send in. 2 postings ago titled "Ex-Military." There's a statement that hit my bullseye. Not with a dart, but with a lawn dart. I was pondering if I should write in. The next posting you did had someone asking for you to send Arizona for his contact info. If you like, send me his info. Chuck will contact him. You'll find Chuck very knowledgeable, or maybe I should say that he has had many interactions with the forest friends. We'll see what happens once they chat. Don't worry, we'll help him. Don't worry, we'll help him where we can. In fact, we had a previous viewer of yours contact Kevin, and he ended up going out with us once. For an ex-Army guy, he was pretty cool. If I recall correctly, he was a sniper. Pretty cool, but still Army. LOL. Let's catch up. Let's catch you up on the Army dig. See, the Arizona 4 has naturally 4 folks. Truth being known, there are a few more that occasionally go out with us, but majority of the time there's only us 4. Now, 3 of these 4 have worn Army duds in the past. I will not get into digging a hole big enough for 2. Laugh my ass off. Only 1. Yours truly was Navy, ex-submariner, to be exact. So our trips are very entertaining. When the trash talk starts, I don't need mind speak to know where they're incoming heading my way. More on the sniper's camping trip with us. He came with his 3 kids. The eldest daughter was definitely wise beyond her years. She's going to join the Navy. Sorry, I couldn't help it. Anyway, the sun is coming up right in my face. This is going to be tough. I might have to go somewhere else. I'm squinting already from it. Anyway, we had light activity, but once everyone crashed out, as I understand it, they had footsteps around their tent. His youngest leapfrogged over his 2 siblings to sleep next to Dad after waking up to footsteps. We have not heard from him lately. Hey, sniper, call Kevin. Okay, now, as quick as I can about post, how do the wolves know? In there, you read from someone talking about sleep paralysis. What they said was something I thought I have never thought. This post that got to first write you about a year and a half ago. Back then, you were not keen on the subject, as well as a few others, such as UFO and such. I wrote in anyway. I don't believe you ever read that share, which was a bummer because I felt the person that wrote in about his experience some reassurance that he was not alone, and also maybe how to deal or fight it. I'll try to find that one, man. I never not read anything, right? I went back and found I still had that many... Sorry. I went back and found I still had that in my saved folder, so I'm enclosing it. This would do some good for those experiencing this very frightening event. If you don't, that's okay. If you do, just a warning, it's kind of a long one. To those who have had sleep paralysis, this will have their full attention. For your information, it does relate to Sabe, since they can do this to humans, just like other entities can. So much more to share, but I'll end here in hopes that the first share I sent gets read in the near future. Take care, Rob. P.S. If you send an axe murderer our way, you will have to deal with my wife. Send an axe murderer. All right, then the next part's coming up, but I'm going to have to move because this sun is like on an angle right there, right in my face, right behind this, and it's just bouncing up everything. It sucks. I'm going to move. I'll be back in a minute. All right, let's try this. Should be able to do it. Steve, I'm writing this not for my benefit, but rather for a select few others that I know are following your excellent channel. I hope you read this to help others to maybe understand this puzzle a bit better. You, and of course all those that have submitted their experiences, have helped many others, as well as myself, to understand this unknown race better. I was really not interested in sharing my experiences until I viewed a couple of postings about talked and being frozen. This area I unfortunately have some experience. I've been viewing your channel for almost 2 years now, and let me say personally to you, bravo Zulu. Keep up this good work. I know it's helping many, including myself. I hope this letter helps some of your viewers, especially those that have had or are having experiences with waking up at night frozen. Completely frozen except for the ability to move their eyes. It appears this ability to freeze us humans in our tracks, in our beds, or plant thoughts in our head is not just limited to one being or entity. I think our code is known by many. Being able to realize the intent of one's experience is key. Let's start this by going back over 40 years. I was in my mid-teens in the Shenandoah Valley, Virginia. One evening I woke up in bed frozen. I had no idea what the heck was going on. Realizing since I had full thought control, I knew that I was not dreaming. The first time I remember only slightly having fear, more puzzlement than anything else. I felt as though someone or something was doing this to me. There is possibility more than one being or entity in my bedroom. It kind of felt like I was being used as a training aid or something. I was confused, to say the least. I tried to move and get up, but I was pinned to that bed. At some point after trying to move, I tried to rest, just to take a second to get back some needed energy. That was when I passed out. As these night events kept randomly reoccurring, it only took another event or two for me to realize this was originating from something evil. I was able to tell where the source of this control over me was coming from. Each time I tried to rest, I passed out. Stay with me here. This does tie in until the Bigfoot/Sasquatch topic. As these events progressed, so did my understanding that the source was evil. Each occurrence I would try to get up. I would try to raise my arms or to roll to my side, and nothing worked. All efforts failed. Eventually passing out after each time paused for a quick rest. As I struggled to fight this, I could feel my energy just leaving me. I did figure out that the madder I got, the longer I was able to try to fight this, or should I say stay conscious. I could tell exactly where the entity was that was doing this to me. It was usually right next to my bed, near my waist. A few times it was at the foot of the bed. How do I know where it was? Like when you're out in the forest and you know you're being watched. I just knew. Then whatever was doing this to me took this to an entirely different level. I realized this entity was no longer at the side of my bed, but rather it was over my, let's say, mid-region. On me or standing through me. And my bed, I'm not sure. That's when I realized for the first time, or at least this time, that this entity was female and it was pure evil. I felt it wanted me dead. Let's just say the term berserker would be a closest definition to fit what was going on inside me then. No doubt. Fighting until I had nothing left, then passing out. This new twist occurred a few more times. Probably the third or fourth time this occurred, I knew there was nothing I could do to break this. I guess I reached a point of accepting that there was not a damn thing I could do to fight this. Realizing this, I figured if I can't fight this thing, or at least I could try to see what the hell it was. Stay with me here. In my head, I asked God to at least let me see what this was. I figured that was not asking too much. With all my ability, I just tried to raise my head. I was not so much angry like before, but rather just extremely focused this time. All I was focused on was to raise my head and look at this. Not stopping to rest because I knew if I did, I would pass out. I kept slowly trying to raise my head. Then at a point close to giving up, I realized that my head was actually elevated somewhat. This must have given me a second wind, I guess. I believed I raised up a bit more, ever so slowly. Then all of a sudden I felt my attacker bolt out of my room with great speed. I knew the direction it left. I know it did not leave willingly, at least under its terms. With this now gone, and I was still awake, I tried to sit up. To my surprise, I still could not move. It took a long time for me to be able to sit up. Once sitting on the edge of my bed, I reviewed all these events. No idea how long it took to sit up or how long I sat there. What I realized was that when either my lower neck or my shoulders lost contact with the bed is when this thing lost its control of me and bolted out of my room. I also realized this is just like those sharks that when you flip them over, they are paralyzed. Since that night, I have never slept on my back at night. I'm 59 now, and I still want to sleep at night on my back. Now, for the tie-in to the main topic, Bigfoot. Let's go back 1 year ago. Sorry this is so long. I was up camping with a friend that probably has more experience with these things than 99% of anyone I've watched or read a book from. With that being said, one night, early morning, I woke up in bed. I was sleeping in my enclosed trailer. This is up on the rim in Arizona. I woke up frozen. My first thought was, how could this be happening? Honestly, I was confused. I was not on my back. I didn't sleep on my back. I don't sleep on my back were my thoughts. Then I realized I was on my back. What the F? Panic set in, but I was able to roll back on my side. Actually, with little effort. That is little effort as compared to the experience 40 plus years ago. Anyway, I was sleeping in my bag, and I was cocooned in because it was a fairly cold night. Even though my eyes were open, I could not see anything. I did feel a presence near me, beside the bed and about at my chest area. As soon as I was on my shoulder, I drifted back to sleep. Notice I did not say passed out. There was no fear. This same event kept happening again and then again, all in a row the same night. It must have occurred 6 or 7 times. Each time I got a little madder, but when I got on my side, I just went back to sleep. The last time I moved back on my side, I was fuming mad. Then I heard my head in a very soft, caring, loving tone say, "Stop doing that." Okay, understand I'm pissed off, and my charitable demeanor was long gone. In my head, I shouted rather hastily, "I don't sleep on my back." How did I know I could speak to it that way? I have no idea. Back on my side, feeling, I told them a thing or two. Back on my side and feeling, I told them a thing or two. I drifted off to sleep. The next morning, I told Kevin what happened. I was thinking I was having a bad dream, a bad reoccurring dream. He started laughing and said that I got a healing. Not really believing that, I asked, why would they heal me? Then he asked, how was my stomach muscles? I was just dumbfounded. See, I strained my stomach muscles a few weeks ago, and the pain/soreness just would not go away. With setting up the camp site that day, I aggravated them even more. Kevin noticed I was moving slow and asked what was wrong. I told him that I pulled or strained some muscles. I actually spoke this out loud. It appears they were listening or somehow knew this. Anyway, he asked if I was still sore. SOB, I had absolutely no pain or soreness. Now I felt like a complete heel and ungrateful person. And this is a topic I don't recall you covering before, but they have the ability to heal. To what level, I don't know. The gist of this letter is that we humans can be controlled or manipulated by other, more advanced beings. That voice that I very clearly heard in my head was spoken like one would expect to hear from a loving and caring grandmother talking to her grandchild. Yes, it was a female voice. Sorry this is so long, but I truly wish I knew this back in my younger days. about sleeping on my side. Hopefully this will help. Hopefully this will help a viewer or two of yours. It's a great debate on whether these beings are good or are they evil. Most folks believe one or the other. It's taken me a bit to come to my decision. My decision. Your postings have helped me think through a number of things. Again, thank you. That can be either. Everybody is a product of their environment and experiences. There are good people and there are truly bad people. I don't see why it would be any different with them. I know you're extremely busy and get offers all the time. I highly doubt you'll ever take up some stranger's offer. I doubt I would, but if you're ever visiting Arizona and want to join us, just say the word. We just sit out, and most of the time we are visited. Even though I have only experienced one daytime sighting, I've experienced some mind-blowing events, which would have to be in another letter if you want. One last thing, if I may. You took one hunter on a guided hunt on horseback long ago, a previous client as I remember. The guy wanted down from the mountain right then and there because of a rather large rock landed near the horse he was riding on. Ring a bell? It might be possible that the tosser of said rock might not have liked the person on the horse. I'm just saying. Just as we like or dislike people, why would they be any different? I'm sure there are some humans they like. There are some they will tolerate, and there are others they just don't like. I do not believe they have a politically correct mode. So if they don't like you and you're entering into the area, they will make it known you are not welcome, and you should leave. Take care and keep this going, Rob. Okay, Rob, appreciate it, man. Yeah, it's great you keep writing in. And obviously, I'm sure you figured it out, I get gazillions of emails. And I copy-paste and put them in the notes, and I try to go back to the longest-waiting emails to get them read. And so obviously I'm all over the map, right? So it's easy for me to miss your emails and not get them read right away. I think so if you said you sent me something previous, I'll try to do a search on here and see if I can find it. I might not even have seen it, man. And and then I'm also going to have to go back. I don't know how I'm going to find that person's contact that wanted to be in touch with you guys. I might figure it out shortly. It's early. I've been running. I'm kind of beat. But I'll be a little more focused later on. Maybe I can start digging and make some sense of how I can find the person who needed to be in contact with you. And sending you an axe murderer. It's more like you better not invite an axe murderer out, right? I'm just the messenger, not a booking agent. But anyway, yeah, it sounds interesting. There's a lot of people that have experienced that, and I'll share with you guys something I experienced. I don't know. I was younger than 10 years old. I know that. It's in my old bedroom when I was a kid. I don't know why. I've never forgot this. I haven't a clue. Because it's basically nothing, maybe it's something. But I remember being frozen in my bed and feeling absolutely terrified. And I felt my hair, like a hand or something, slide my hair off the side of my head like that when I was laying in bed, just once. And I'm getting goosebumps right now remembering that. Is it significant to any of this? Haven't a clue. It's just some minor thing that happened in my lifetime. When I was a child, less than 10 years old, I know that for sure. And I don't know why I remembered that all my life. Haven't a clue. So long ago and so minor, but I remember vividly being terrified. In my bed, frickin' frozen, not wanting to move or look anywhere, and my hair being moved in my head. Nobody in the room. Weird. And I know there's a lot of people that have the sleep paralysis experiences, and I also know that mainstream science or whoever loves to come up with simple explanations for that. It's completely normal. It's just you, right? Yeah. Anyway, keep writing in, man. All right. And yeah, if I'm down there, I'll head out with you guys. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, you know where I am all the time, and I'm not really into it. Like, where was I yesterday morning? Pitch frickin' black in the middle of nowhere. Yesterday morning? And I was saying out loud, I was feeling a little creeped out. I was saying out loud, leave me alone. Just leave me alone. I'm just here to find some food, and then I'm going to leave. And I said that out loud yesterday morning, alone in the forest. Seems to be working for me so far. Somewhat, right? Now, while I'm here, let me get one more shared with you guys. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to add in some of my trail camera videos in the beginning or the end of this, but I'll share some grizzlies that are around me for you guys to see. Steve, please read and share this true story. Hello, Steve. My name is Carrie Mengi Griffin. I live on the East Bay of Northern California. I'm 39 years old, and I'll cut straight to my story. Back when I was 14 or 15 years old, me and 4 of my friends, including my brother, decided we were going to hike in the hills surrounding our neighborhood that night. We were young and strong, and we decided we were going to run from the house to the bottom of the hill that goes into the wilderness. It's probably less than a quarter mile. A couple blocks. So we burst out of the house, and we're running full speed, and I look up at the moon, and it's a full moon, and around the moon is this gigantic glowing ring. So I stopped in my tracks, and I yell, "Look, there's a ring around the moon." And everybody's like, "Yeah, that happens before a storm." Why I never saw it up to this point, I don't know, but it just blew my mind. So we continue running full speed to the hill. We get to the bottom. It's a good 80-degree angle dirt hill, and about what I'd say 150 yards to the top. And once you get to the top, you go over the rise. It widens out to a prairie. So we're standing at the bottom, and my brother's like, "Why does it look like there's glowing eyes over the top Why does it look like there's lights glowing over the top of the hill? Top of the hill, that's typed twice. And it looked like there's literally stadium lights up there emanating from just over the rise." So we're like, whatever, it might just be the full moon. Let's run up this hill. So we start running up the hill, and I'd say we don't get 25 yards. And in that distance, you hear a soft thumping noise in the sky. Now, we're under the shrub oak canopy, which is only, 25 feet tall, but this beating is getting closer and closer. And all of a sudden, the tops of the trees start shaking. So we look up, and through the gaps and tree leaves, and we see a Cobra-type attack helicopter with a minigun mounted on the front, wings with the missiles on them, and it is barely making any noise at all, and it can't be but 20 yards from us in the sky. The treetops are shaking, the rotor wash is pushing us down, and I'm like, what is going on? So we all jump down to hide next to the trees, and all of a sudden a spotlight hits the top of the trees and kicks right through to where we're all bunched together at, and it starts circling with that spotlight on us. Now, there's no running lights in this helicopter. There's no flashing light, and it's barely making a noise. And I'm thinking we're not hiding from this thing. They have infrared, so we're sitting here imagining all the CIA underground bunkers, and we're going to disappear too. Then it stops for a few seconds and goes straight up in the sky, and after less than 30 seconds, it's gone. We can't hear it. Now, we're all freaked out, and I'm wondering, why did an attack helicopter just spotlight us in the middle of Suburban neighborhood in the East Bay? We all decided that whatever was going on the top of that hill, we weren't supposed to go and see. And that was our warning to get the F out of there, or we'll just be disappeared. And I'll tell you what we ran down the hill and walked home so quietly without a word all the way back to the house, locked the door, and didn't even have fun for the rest of the night, albeit it's a weekend sleepover. And that was the first time I realized stuff was happening that we are not told, because I realized that there was absolutely no way the helicopter was prepped, went through its pre-flight checkup, and took off and intercepted us at that hill in the 5 minutes it took to get there. No, it was up in the air. It was up in the air monitoring us from the minute we left the door, like we got some kids heading our way. What do you want us to do? I tell people this story, and they're like, no way. But me, my brother, and 3 friends are all united in the fact that we experienced that. There's a lot more also. Let me know if you want to know about it. And thanks for all the stuff you're doing. I follow your channel, and it's good to know that I'm not alone. All right. Again, if there's lots more, share it now. If you want to share it now, believe me. I think everybody probably heard me say it by now. If you got more, you tack it on, okay? Because who knows when I'm going to find it and when I'm going to read it. And it could be far enough down the road that nobody even knows what the hell you're talking about. Excuse me, when you add it on. So be sure to add everything you got in one email, you guys, all right? Yes, I want to hear more. And yes, that sounds bizarre. And maybe somebody has something familiar has happened. They're going to comment about it in the comment section under this video. So keep an eye down there. Crazy. All right. Here's one more. My story covers a lifetime. I just saw your video on YouTube. Just a quick bit of knowledge. I believe I was tagged very early in life and believe they use that to this day to track me. That recording rattled me. Oh, and then I replied, "Send it, Donald." Okay, I see that's the first email with my reply, I guess. So, Steve, on July 29th, 2022, 1915. Oh, sorry, I'm reading the... Okay, I'm getting confused here. Here we go. Steve, my story begins at a very early age and covers my life. It continues this very day. Things you should know before I send it. Number 1, will be long, even if I keep it as short as possible. Number 2, I would want you and David P. to both read it. Number 3, if you both agree it is worth being shared with the Club of No Return, then you may share it. Number 4, you and David P. may know who I am, but if read, you may use my first name only, as there are a lot of people out there who are not nice and could be dangerous. Number 5, my life has been a hard one, every damn day of it. Number 6, I believe in God, family, but most of all myself. Number 7, I believe that in life you are lucky if you can find... Number 7, I believe that in life, if you're lucky to find 2 or 3 people that you can call a friend or brother, by this I mean they will be there when you need them, and you for them. Number 8, I believe a man's word is his bond. Guess that makes me a rare one. Number 9, so now you know a little about me. Time for you to decide if you want to hear what has happened to me and what I've learned over my lifetime. It may help someone. All right, so again, coincidentally, I wish you'd have added it on there, and it's never a question whether or not we want to hear. We always want to hear, right? And especially if it's going to help somebody, we want to hear it. It's no secret about that. So, when you get a chance, send it, and I'll share it. Somebody's ripping around in a loud vehicle on the distance. All right, let me get this one out, and then I'm going to get moving. Titled Experiences in Mississippi. I wrote another episode when I met the Sabe family living near a house. I emailed it on May 11, 2022, titled Suburban Sabe. These are other experiences I had in Mississippi while visiting our son, his wife, and the grandkids. Our son told me about this episode he experienced while out running one evening about dusk. They had purchased a farm, and to get some exercise, he had taken up running on a dirt road about 1 mile from their house. His 3 large dogs always went along enjoying themselves, and he felt safer with the Australian shepherds running circles around him. The joy stopped suddenly when the dogs took off for the fence line. They were barking and growling fiercely, but staying several yards away from the fence. My son looked to see what was causing their hysterical behavior. He saw what looked like a 10-foot-tall, hairy man staring at him. He got a good read on the height because the fence was a regular farm height of 5 feet. The creature was twice as tall. The face was a man's, but the height and hair caused him to start shaking uncontrollably. He felt stuck and couldn't move, but he could yell, so he began calling the dogs to his side. The dogs returned to him and began yelping and whining as they positioned themselves between him and the hairy man. Wow, those are good dogs. My son looked down to the dogs, and when he looked up, the Sabe was gone. He and the dogs ran as fast as they could home. That summer, we went to visit, staying a couple nights in the cabin in the woods of the farm. Around midnight, an orange orb, about 6 inches across, came floating out of a closet, moving to the end of our bed. Having plenty of experience with demonic entities, I commanded to leave in Jesus' name. Immediately left. My husband was fast asleep, bless his heart. The next day, the whole family sat down and shared our experiences. With prayers, wise woman. There we go. Short, straight to the point. Take note, a man's face. Right? How many times has that been directly said and shared with everybody here? Man's face. Just the 10-foot tall part in the hair is the one that throws everybody off. And the orb thing. How many times has that been heard now? How many first-hand witnesses have described a ball of light inside their frickin' house or in the timber? I haven't seen that myself. Do I want to? Not really. But there's a lot of people out there who are seeing that shit, and they need it known. They need to share it publicly. That's why we are here, and that's why I'm doing it. And again, it's emails like that, you know, it's thousands of eyewitnesses that are coming forward and giving us these same stories. And it always makes me instantly think of all the past so-called big names who have been adamant about not sharing those details publicly, acknowledging them in any way. Isn't that ridiculous? How many people there are that will accept the fact these beings are running around, but they will decide on what other items may or may not have happened or been seen. How is that for such a block? You know, for those individuals who think they want to learn and think they're trying to come up with answers, and they're instantly putting a roadblock in front of them intentionally, and they will never get past that point, period. They're going to stay there and go in circles, and then they wanted all you guys to stay and go in circles with them at the same time. I don't get it. People are strange. And I'll try not to babble about that. But I always just find it weird, because the more I learn, the more we all learn together as the people. It's just the more it is so obvious that so many people who are interested, who claim to be interested in this topic, have put down such an effort to keep so many details not heard or acknowledged. That's really bizarre, don't you think? I think it is. That's why I'm probably talking about it. But anyway, I gotta get moving. I have to go get more gear ready, overnight gear, and get ready to go into that deep, dark spruce forest a few miles away, sleep in the ground, and plan my attack to hopefully harvest some food, which is going to come in the form of a very large bull elk, and hopefully not become food for something else while I try to pull that off. It's a weird sound. Sounds like a jet. Anyway, we'll be back again. We'll be back to share more again. Hopefully this goes through and you guys can watch this soon. I don't know when you'll be able to, but I'll see what I can do. Anyway, you got something you want to share with the people, get it off your chest, some truth to share, something's going to help somebody, then you get it into Share My Story at howtohunt.com. All right? And it'll get got to. I'll be back shortly. Be safe out there.